Okay, while these students are getting logged on, coming to you as a packet, this is our file project. I think it'd be nice for you to have a copy. So you probably want to have this out along with the syllabus that you got last Friday. Yeah, you need to make it. You did. Can you send me the score you got on the Canvas message, please? Thank you. And then here's a okay. Good morning. Good morning to those of you on Zoom. If I can get everybody's attention up here then on the board, so I can show you that I obviously put this together and put it on here as well. I think that's going to be helpful. Let me see if this is what's sharing. That's not. All right, share the screen. Okay, got the correct screen shared. So I hope everybody went to the videos and watched them. I looked at a lot of different notes. Some of those are probably eye openers. We'll address that here in a moment. Brooke, what's the question? I thought you were the one that told me it was wrong or something. Okay. I'll bring it to you in a second. Actually, you can come up here and just grab it. It's next to that hole punch. All right. So this is when we start the AP review. So before I go any further, I wanted to have a short discussion or Q&A on anything that you heard on those videos that I posted that might have been a surprise to you, that you said, well, how does that work? Let's make sure our cell phones and our earbuds are out, please. This is class. This is not playtime. Okay, thank you. Nobody has any questions. It all made sense? Did it make sense when he said to put the textbook away? Okay, you're not going to be able to memorize every term for the textbook or anything like that. Okay, and so make sure as I review this project with you that you keep in mind, Jill, are you listening or are you texting? Okay, good. It's like eye contact. Make sure that you keep in mind that this is not us trying to rememorize the history of the world. It is us trying to review it in a means that is going to be productive towards passing the AP exam. Okay, so those are two very different things. Now, when I go to modules, everything for the rest of the course is going to be under, it'll condense these soon. Everything for the rest of the course is going to be under, I'm gonna condense this as well. It's long. AP test review. Okay. So the document that we are working off in class, if you were here, you would have a copy. If you're not here, or if you need to access it digitally, is right here. Okay. So that's what I'll kind of be looking at, but I'll actually look at the one that I made. Doesn't look exactly like that. And then the syllabus that is most up to date is also here. Okay. In the event that you lost it or just want to access it digitally or wonder what's going on. Okay. You're going to see this here. Make sure you have this syllabus ready and kind of on your computer as well. and at your disposal, because when we assign groups today, or you pick your groups, you're then going to be getting assigned a date to present. Some of you will probably pick to go a week from today. That's very soon. At the same time, that means you get it done. And then you can sit and relax while the other 4 groups go. Or some of you will choose to do it, the last day, or the 11th and 12th, which is basically 6 days before the final, before the DBQ exam. It's not the AP exam, sorry. And if that's the case, you've got to sit here the whole time. And also recognize that I'm going to be grading ones that are further along with a little bit different lens. And I'm going to be grading the first project or 2. Does everyone understand that? That's just, unfortunately, what you would call inherent bias. Okay. I'll do my best not to, but it's like, once I have 4 to compare to versus 1, things are a little different. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be scared to pick the first one if that's what you want to do. It's probably the easiest one, honestly, as well. That's why it's first. Okay, let's go back then. So I've showed you both those, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller, and I want to go over the group rubric. Okay, the group work rubric for the end of the year. So as I have you in class here, you probably want to have this on your screen. I keep sharing the wrong screen. That is annoying. Okay, Katya, can you see the group work rubric now?
Yes.
Is that a thumbs up? Good stuff. Okay. I'm going to change the speakers right now because I want to be able to hear later. Okay. All right. So stop me if you have any questions. I had a student ask a very good question to start off class. They said, Mr. Brunette, will the AP exam affect my semester grade? The actual exam itself will have no bearing on your semester grade. It will literally just be for colleges or for your preparation. Lane, why are you texting still? I'm trying to be nice. Like, can you just put it somewhere else in your hand? Thank you. Okay, I don't want to repeat myself. Okay, my voice is already gone. Now, you're going to be split into groups. You're going to cover 1/5, or you're going to basically cover a couple portions of the themes that College Board deemed as necessary for the exam. All right, I have it broken down for you. I made up one theme of my own, which I basically took out a couple portions of each one of these, and that's the religious influences and just remembering religions in general, because they impact almost every one of these civilizations that we've talked about. Okay, so we're going to start with the religion review, just like we did when we started the year off, and how that affected empires, and then we'll move on through each time period. So some of these, basically after 1450, all of these are a period and a half. That's how much time you have to present. You'll be expected to present. Okay, because it's going to take you longer. They have multiple sections and they have more themes involved with them. Okay, so the bigger group, or the group that wants to go towards the end, again, this last 3 are a period and a half. The College Board units, I provided a link right there. When I click on that link, of course, it's going to make me reshare the screen, but it's really just going to take you to this AP Modern page, where when you go down to the bottom, it's going to give you all the units, and then it's going to give you what it wants you to cover in the units. Okay, and the percent of the exam. So that's the link where you're going to start. I already have all that information on the sheet anyways as well. All right. Then how you're going to kind of set up your presentation. You're going to have a paper handout, or in this instance, it's going to be a upload to Canvas. Okay. I will be making the copies of this handout, but it should include all of the learning objectives assigned to you in your presentation. So if you page down, let's just go to presentation number 1, group number 1. Just look at that for an example here. You see religions and influence on empires post 1000 CE. You get 1 period to do this. So the key aspects of all religions below: Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Judaism. Then how those religions affected the following states: Europe, Byzantine Empire, Russia, the Americas, Islam, Umayyad, Abbasid Caliphate, Sudanic, Swahili Coast, Gunpowder Empires, post-World War II, impact of Islam on different areas, okay, et cetera, et cetera. So that one's pretty easy in the sense that you're going to be covering major tenets of the religion and then how they had an impact on those particular religions or areas, okay? Group number 2, for example, this is more political. You're going to cover the major tenets of the states in this time period, 1200 to 1450, in the following places. So you can see there's about 10 or 11 of them. Now, you can check that out on your own. I don't need to read through all that with you, but some of the important things to think about for your handout. On your handout, you also need to include 5 primary sources with explanation. Those primary sources should be diverse. They shouldn't all be, let's say if you're in the religion one, I don't want five articles about Christianity in Western Europe, okay? Or the Reformation. That's not going to help me, okay? Those need to be diverse. 5 CCOT examples. So a section on your handout says CCOT and 5 examples of how something changes same and how it either changes same over a period of time or how it changed, okay? 5 compare and contrast, 5 cause and effect, and then 5 maps. Maps are pretty self-explanatory, but a map with a caption saying what is it, something that's going to help us visualize, potentially make connections to comparing different empires, okay? So I'm not putting a page limit, considering this is all going to be online. And I have time to make copies because I have a lunch before your class and the next class. I am not going to be making a page limit. So if it's 8 to 10 pages, that's fine. I'm not that worried about it, okay? Now, after you make your handout, you need to have slides that will accompany your handout that you will use for your presentation, okay? These slides should only be visuals and captions. You're not going to recreate the handout in outline style. That's redundant, right? You already have an outline. You already have something for us to look at. This is something for us to use as a visual aid, okay? And this needs to be turned in at the same time as the handout to Canvas, okay? Then, like I said, I will make copies for the class, so it'll be easier for you to make notes if you're in class. You'll be able to write on it. If you're not in class, you might have to annotate on your own computer. All right. You're going to present or perform 2 creative activities during your presentation. Activities must engage the group and cover a significant amount of material from your time period. Okay, I have some ideas below here. Ideas for creative activity choices. These are just merely suggestions. You've been through virtual school for over a year now. You have to have things that your students have done, some that you like, some that you don't like at all. So the key is they have to be interactive and they have to cover material, okay? If you played a Kahoot, that would only be one thing. You can't do 2 Kahoots. There is really, and it can be anything that you want. You want to be creative, but if it's not on the list, I want you to bounce it off me before you run with it, okay? I've had people play all sorts of different games. I've had people play they actually had someone wrapped up in a box, and then they came out as like a Hindu god, and then acted like they were Sandra Group de Moria back when that was actually on the exam, with all sorts of different things. Okay. Then this is how students receive extra credit. Each member of your group may bring packages of tissue boxes. Okay, I run out of them, especially on normal years when students feel comfortable blowing their nose around everybody. So the maximum amount of tissue boxes you can bring in for your group is 10 for up to 10 points. Okay, so that's a 10-point padding if you feel like you want to do it. They don't have to be name brand, you know, they be whatever they are, except for the ones downstairs the school provides. Those are bad. And I can get those for free, and they're ugly. They don't make your nose feel any good. Okay. So does anybody have any questions from here? Yes, Jill. Yep. So move down. This is what I would normally have you fill out in a non-pandemic year. You would write your group members' names here and your cell phone number, and I'd have you keep a group folder with all of this stuff that I'm looking for. But once all the virtual students, we only have 5 of them. You're going to make up your own group. Okay, so Katya, Lily, Liliana, Vivian, and Nyla, you are going to be one group. Hope you understand that. Hopefully that makes sense. I think Lily Dole is frozen. All right. So when we pick the groups, which here's how it'll work. I will flip. Basically, you're going to draw a card. Whatever card you draw will be the number order that you get to pick. Okay. So if you draw card 1 and I flip the coin and we're going to go with 1 first, 1 to 5, group number 1 gets the first pick, group 5 gets the last pick of time period that they want. Okay. Everyone understand that? All right. In terms of how it's going to be graded, you'll see paying attention during other students' presentations. That means if I see a cell phone out or texting, I'll take points off the whole group. Okay, so you'll want to remind your group that. Working hard to prepare in class. You're going to have 2 full in-class days to work on this. I spread them out, so I believe it's tomorrow and then Friday this week. This is, are you on task? Or are you talking about what happened in biology class or anything other than what needs to get done? Okay. It's a small room. It's pretty obvious. All right. This is on the handout then. You'll see you get points for basically the biggest one there is where the theme's covered accurately. Okay. So you're not confusing the class. And then your group teaching, did you force the class to participate? I think it's very important that you get the class to have to talk and regurgitate information or even go over what you said so that they're making the connections. And then you'll see the slides are worth 30 points. And then each group member presenting something that's historical and accurate is worth 30. Okay. Both creative activities are worth 15 plus the extra credit if you bring any, for a total of 210 points. So Ethan, you asked, is this going to affect my grade? This is. Typically students average in the A- range on this project. But again, I've seen really bad. I've seen a lot of good ones. I've seen a few that were just, they didn't do the work. Okay. All right, below is all the information that you're going to cover. It comes pretty much straight from that website. And then to supplement it, you also need to use your, you can obviously use your textbook if you want, but all my units are on Canvas. All the information went over in class. You also can go to, if you, if I click on AP World History here, I bet I'm going to have this on my desktop. Okay, so you can actually go online and like this is an old course. Oh, it's not letting me do it. But you can download the course description and I can show you that tomorrow. And that even gives you even more in depth on what it expects you to cover. But I went away from making vocab lists and giving vocab quizzes like I used to because I think it's redundant at this point. You either have been paying attention or you haven't been. All right, so the next thing that we would need to do then is group formation. And those of you at home, unfortunately, just due to the setup of the classroom, you are going to be one group. So that means I have 6, Cat would be 7, 10, 13, 16, 20, and 22. So I have 22 students here. So split into 4 groups, 22 works in 2 groups of 5 and 2 groups of 6. Okay. So 2 groups of 5 and 2 groups of 6. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you, I see 12:08 on the clock. I'm going to give you 12:12, 2 groups of 5, 2 groups of 6, and make sure you're 3 feet apart from each other at all times. Go. Okay, those of you on Zoom, they're walking around figuring out groups. Do any of you have any questions? I'm going to go ahead and put you in a chat room so that you can communicate with each other, okay? Or whatever they call them, breakout rooms. Yeah. No. Just use someone. Yeah, grab. Oh, I don't know, man. Who are you trying to join? You guys only have 3. Has to be 5, 5, 6, 6. So you guys are gonna have to figure that out. Okay. You have 1 minute left to try to figure out your group. It has to be 5, 5, 6, 6. Okay, those of you in this breakout room, you are going to be the same group. Okay. So what you need to do, I'm gonna mute myself and turn the sound down. You need to figure out as a group, what are your top choices for which time period. Okay. Remember, the last 3 are a period and a half. So that's about 80 minutes of time versus 50 minutes of time. Okay. But you may need it because there's a lot more information covered in those. That's why we did that. Does anybody have a question? Okay. I'm going to turn the sound down. Go ahead and talk it out. Figure out what you want. Let me check in the groups in here.